list of all the applicants is in the packet, and we had several people last night. I think 15 agencies presented last night. We have another 15 agencies tonight, or 14. And so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Before that, I just wanna do a little recap for the commissioners. Just some things that have happened recently. We had, the fillable rubric was emailed to you on Tuesday, June 30th. The agenda with the application and the budget information was published online for anyone to access on Tuesday, June 30th. We had the applications that were, if they provided presentations last night, they were published for anyone to access on Wednesday, July 1st. The July 1st presentations were live streamed and recorded and are now available on the city's websites with timestamps to each applicant. So for our commissioners who aren't here tonight, I've asked them to go back and review the video so that they can review all of the recorded presentations, so they can actually jump to the timestamps for each agency and see each agency's presentation.
Yeah.
So, and then all of the public materials for tonight, last night and tonight, they can be accessed during the meeting using the city iPads that are in front of you. So if you want to look at the agenda, you can look up that. And if you click on each application within the agenda, there'll be an application and a budget for each agency. And so the next steps are, we would review the presentations tonight. Then we would come back in August. So you all do your scores. You all got the due date. I think it's June 21st. And then you send your scores to me. I compile them. I come back to you in August with recommendations of different options of how to look at based on scoring and, you know, kind of what we did last year. We looked at a bunch of different scenarios. And then you would look at that in August and then make your recommendation, and then I bring to city council in September. And then hopefully the council will go approve that, and then we could get the program started in September then we'd start contracting and things like that. So if you were selected, you would work with me to get the contract and the insurance and everything like that set up. And that wouldn't start until September at the earliest. So that's a little update on where we're at in the process. And so I think we can go ahead and get started unless you guys have any questions about where we're at.
No, I did just want to make a comment to everybody here. I just wanted to thank Michelle first of all, because she's done a ton of legwork to really help narrow down what the city's looking for here in affordable housing, youth services, and behavioral health services. We didn't just come up with that. She held tons of meetings, stakeholders, community surveys, and obviously the ask of what we're able to provide is, you know, way more than what we can. So we just wanted to thank everybody for coming here, regardless of how it turns out. I know the work you guys are doing in the community is not going unnoticed. It's just really helpful for us to see these presentations, and all the commissioners, I know I speak on their behalf for that too. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get this started. The Community Action Council is up first, and it looks like, is it Carrie? Carrie.
So if you have a slideshow, you should be able to forward your slides with the clicker that's up there. So hopefully that will work. And then Paul's gonna help us with the timer. So we're gonna have 5 minutes to present, and then when you're done, another 5 minutes for them to ask questions.
Thank you so much. My name is Carrie Blackburn. I'm the Housing Program Lead with Community Action Council. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This is the third year that we're applying for this grant. We've successfully received the grant the last 2 years. We're in the middle or almost toward the end of our second year. I just want to acknowledge all the wonderful community partners that we have here today. This is a really difficult decision, and we have wonderful, amazing organizations here, and all of us deserve the funding. Just throwing that out there. Our focus tonight is on prevention of homelessness and increasing stability of housing, in especially long-term affordable housing. Our current housing program, our team has 79 years of combined housing experience, combined housing and homelessness services experience. Our main office is located in Lacey, and we have walk-in hours as well as community outreach in the Lacey area. Oh, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. That I wrote these slides, you would think I would know. Our housing case management is dedicated to emergency response services, eviction prevention, especially move-in costs. Most of the financial assistance we provide to our clients is less than $1,000. That's where the real core need is. What we find is that most of our households that we serve, most of the families need less than $1,000, and that's a really difficult need to meet. And we don't want the families having to navigate multiple services and multiple agencies. If we can just help with that small financial need, along with dedicated case management and long-term supportive services. We often find that wraparound services, including energy assistance, is helpful. If you meet one need, there's always another need, so we try and meet as many needs as possible. We do long-term security and safety planning, again, with the stabilization, with our wraparound services. Some statistics from the last couple of years. Last year, we were awarded, actually the first year of the program, we were awarded 31,233. We were able to serve 56 Lacey households with active, meaningful case management with both housing and employment services. 22 of those households were receiving financial assistance from this grant. The current year that we're in, we received $23,125. As of the end of June, so that was, I believe, Tuesday, we had served 42 households through active case management, and 21 of those households were served with financial assistance. Interesting statistically, only 2 of those households are duplicative of last year and this year. So that means that a total of 41 unduplicated households were served between those 2 years. So far this year, we've served 25 households with drop-in hours at our Lacey location and 32 households through outreach events. Our budget and goals for next year, we are requesting the total of $30,000, $25,000 for direct client assistance, meaning eviction prevention and deposit and move-in costs. And then this year, we're actually requesting an additional $5,000 for indirect costs, the $3,000 for our staffing and $2,000 for administration. Historically, we had not requested admin and staffing costs. This is the first year we're doing it. If we're not awarded the full $30,000, we would cut that admin and staffing costs and just focus on the direct client assistance. Goals for this next budget year, we would hope to serve 25 households through the direct financial assistance, serve a minimum of 50 Lacey households through the intensive case management, 30 households through drop-in hours, and 30 households through outreach services. And there's our contact information. We don't know if I'm at time. Are there any questions?
58 seconds left, so great. We can restart the 5 minutes for questions.
Your presentation was really well. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Garden Raised Bounty. Sade?
Sade.
Sade, okay. Good.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Sade Gilliam. I'm the new co-executive director at Grub. We just moved to a co-executive model to update our program. So we grow healthy people, food, and community at Grub, and we envision an equitable world where we are all nourished by healthy relationships, resilient community, and good food. I wanted to give gratitude for the city of Lacey for many years of support through our free backyard gardening program. And this year we are we're inviting you all to support 20 youth in experiencing Grub's youth program. Through our youth program, youth gain job skills, social, emotional, and leadership skills through our trauma-informed, land-based program. It's not switching.
I'll just click there. I'll try it. There you go.
There we go. So we have a beautiful 3-acre farm and in West Olympia with abundant community, beehives, and wildlife. We have many deer with lots of babies right now hanging out on our farm, and fruit trees, and a nature trail where we have our youth engage with the native plants, learn how to identify them, but also meet them as part of their community through our plant teachings curriculum, which was co-developed with local tribal community members and local educators. We start every day with youth ages 16 to 19 who are experiencing barriers to success such as homelessness, low incomes, experiences in the juvenile justice system or foster care system, and or others. We start each day with a check-in and a team building game. This is one of our team building games happening here. And we then go out to the farm and we get our hands in the dirt and grow food together. And today actually was the start of our summer program. We had 21 youth join us today for the summer experience. And over 80% of the food that is grown on the farm is donated to food relief organizations and taken home by the youth to feed themselves and their families. And they also learn how to process the food. So it's all the way from seed to table, the experience. And then they also go out into the community, help build gardens, and teach other people how to grow food and prepare it. So this is them processing the apples and preparing the onions to give to the food bank. We have guest chefs every Wednesday. This is our Veteran Conservation Corps intern teaching the youth how to prepare food in the kitchen. And then youth also learn how to make beautiful bouquets from our flowers on the farm and learn business skills and job skills through that and our market stand. They do CSA bouquets and they're gorgeous. And I just wanted to conclude, am I able to?
I can that poll for you.
Okay. Just wanted to read this. I want to conclude with words from our new farm manager, Coyote. The youth program was there in such a dark and scary time for everyone in the midst of the pandemic. After I had just moved to the area with almost no community, the season was so transformative and healing for everyone involved. I had never felt so seen or understood by adults in my life, and it really fueled my passion for learning and living up to their expectations. They were clear, compassionate, and curious leaders who fostered my huge growth in farm skills, personal and professional confidence, and leadership. I'm now a full-time staff member at Grub 5 years later, and I get to mentor youth myself, hopefully making that same impact that changed my life so much.
It's wonderful.
So I invite the city of Lacey to join us in making Coyote's dreams come true through a grant of up to $30,000 to support 20 Lacey youth and experiencing a similar impact as. Any questions?
I have a couple of good.
No, you're the first time.
Good presentation and you have good command of it, so kudos to you.
Okay.
I have a couple questions. How do people access those slots and is there a fee for it?
There is no fee. In fact, we actually give the youth a stipend to support them through the program. Many of the youth are experiencing financial barriers to accessing programs like these. And so we want to support them through that. And what was the other part of your question?
So if I wanted to refer somebody, how would they access the program?
Yeah, so there's an application for the program. It's online. It's also, people can just call on the phone. We'll walk them through it. But we put it out to school districts and all of our partners. We have over 100 partners and homeless support services and
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, Coyote, that's the dream, right? When it comes to
Yeah.
this kind of work. I was curious if you could speak to so the young people, they come, they do this program, what is sort of the follow-up, the aftercare, what is perhaps a more normative experience of you finish the program and
And then what?
what?
That's a really good question.
Mhm.
So, it's our 25th birthday this year, and we have been exploring that question, like, how can we like keep maintaining this support after people leave? So we do have an alumni engagement process where we keep in touch, we invite people back. We also have it's a tiered leadership program at Grub. So once people have that first time experience, they're invited back to apply for paid positions. We have peer crew leaders who are peer mentors. We have farm assistants and farm coordinators. So we have 6 individuals right now that came back as youth alum and our peer crew, who are peer mentors for our youth, 21 youth who are there right now. So that's one example. And yeah, we had it's our 25th birthday, so we've been bringing people in to share their stories over the years. And one person who was a youth in the program 15 years ago came back and presented on her experience and how it shifted her life.
Nice.
So it was a cool thing, but we are always improving in that area and have it in our strategic plan this year to also engage improve that engagement long term. Yeah, it's a great question.
Thank you. And when you say the youth population, what is the age bracket that you are serving?
16 to 19, but then the peer mentors can be up to 24 years old.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
were talking before the presentations that this sounded like one we'd heard from before, and it's Grub that applied in the past. So what's the difference between Grub and Golden Raised Bounty?
Grub stands for Garden Raised Bounty. Yes. Yep, it's the
My
same.
handwriting.
It's the same organization.
Okay.
Some people say Garden Raised Urban Bounty, but the U
Okay.
actually just stands for you, as in the community, because
Okay.
without you, we wouldn't be Grub.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
You.
Yeah, but in the past, we've applied for the garden building project. We have several programs.
It shifted
Yeah.
this time.
I recall more emphasis on going into homes and
Yeah.
previously and doing gardens in the homes.
Yes, that's a separate program. Yes, we have, yep.
How many programs you got?
Yes, okay.
I knew you wanted to answer that, so I'm gonna ask it.
Yeah, 46 seconds. We have our backyard garden building program where we build 35 to 50 gardens for free throughout the community each year and also support them and continuing. We have our youth program. We have our military veteran program called Healing Through Hives, where veterans learn how to become beekeepers and start their own beekeeping business. We have our Growing Home Collective, which is an engagement of the Black community. They come once a month and eat food together and re-engage with the land and grow things like sweet potatoes and okra and stuff like that on the farm. I think I said everything.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Homes First.
Hi there.
Hello.
Did you get your water?
I didn't, that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hi, I'm Chris with Homes First. Get our slide deck loaded.
You had a PowerPoint, right?
Yes. Bottom left,
Right here?
right there.
Okay, let's move this. So I can get to this. Here.
All right, well, thank you again for having us, Lacey Human Services. My name is Chris Bean. I am the development manager for Homes First. And a lot of our peers are in this room, some of our supporters as well. Thank you so much over the years for supporting Homes First and affordable housing. And so, next.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I have to click in the middle. You can use the clicker now. If I move yeah, you should be good.
All right, so the mission of Homes First is to create and maintain safe, healthy, and affordable rental homes for those who need them most. And a little history about Homes First. We are a 90s baby, incorporated in 1990, and we've been serving this community for over 35 years. This year marks our 36th year. Our first officers were Kentura Brown, Helen Hodgson, and Billy Heath. They had a vision to prevent homelessness in this community. We broke ground in Mason County in 2017. We serve both communities, Thurston County and Mason County. Today, we have 60 properties in our portfolio. So that's one property out in Mason County and the 59 rest are here in Thurston County. And so since today, we've housed over 5,000 community members since our inception. Our tenants include seniors, veterans, adults living with physical and developmental disabilities, families seeking safety, and individuals in recovery. All of these people are income constrained. And so the project, this is a capital project, and we are needing to replace a 50-year-old roof at our property at 1702 Magnolia Street Southeast here in Lacey. In 2016, Homes First purchased and rehabilitated this 2-story fourplex, and it was built in 1977, providing homes for 4 households and 8 low-income residents. The roof is original to the building and has reached the end of its lifespan with increasing risk of failure. So this request funds roof replacement only. The siding and repainting are being pursued through other separate funding sources. Why this matters: protecting our most vulnerable neighbors. We are a landlord, essentially, right? We do property management. So we want to make sure that we're being a good neighbor and keeping up to code, that the houses look good and the neighbors that they're sharing it with. And also, most importantly, to keep them safe and healthy for these folks to live in. So all 8 residents of our fourplex have incomes below 50% of area median income, with most below 30% AMI. Many are seniors, live with disabilities, or in recovery from behavioral health challenges, and most have experienced homelessness or substandard housing before finding a home here. And so a lot of what we do too is also mitigating homelessness. We prevent homelessness because these people can't afford market rate rent. Without this repair, these residents face real risk of displacement, rent burden with more expensive housing or homelessness. This project protects the building enclosure so Homes First can continue providing decent, affordable housing to this community for years to come. And that is our budget. So this is a capital request, and we're requesting about $49,571. That would be spent a majority on the bulk of it on the project, roof demolition and replacement. And then the rest of it would be covered, about $2,300 in administration cost, coordinating and then keeping track of everything and reporting to make sure that we're staying in compliance. And the cost is based on a contractor estimate. So no audit findings in the last 2 years for Homes First. And if funded at less than the full amount, Homes First will continue fundraising for the balance and apply the unfunded portion to related building envelope work. All right, timeline and sustainability. So we are ready to proceed. Scope and cost have already been estimated by a licensed, experienced roofing contractor. We got an estimate from Dan Doyle from Doyle Construction. Clean audit history. Homes First has had no audit findings in the last 2 years. And this is part of a larger building envelope plan. Homes First is separately pursuing foundation funding for siding replacement and repainting that same building. And we are resilient if partially funded. So if this request is not fully funded, Homes First will continue to fundraise and apply any unfunded portion to related grant applications for the building. And no prior City of Lacey funding for this project. This is the new request. And that's it. So thank you for considering our request to fund the roof replacement at Magnolia, protecting safe, affordable housing for our 8 Lacey residents here. Do you have any questions?
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah.
I was curious for your housing in Lacey, or perhaps just more generally, how long do folks tend to live in this housing? Is it presented more as a sort of a stopgap or a stabilization, or is it you are here and you will be here 10 years, 20 years?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Mhm.
Long-term stable housing is what we like to provide, permanent housing. The reality for a lot of these folks are they are income constrained for the rest of their lives. So yes, that is the best case scenario is that they will stay in their home. And so we're building more too to create more access for more people. But yes, we do also house people who are, for example, are sober living folks. They have a bit more opportunity to potentially move out in a few years and pay market rate rent, yeah.
That's fantastic.
If-
Thank you.
If you're not able to get the whole $47,000, is there a contingent plan for if it was a partially funded project, would you still be able to get a roof?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our Heroes for Housing breakfast is coming up in September. That's my whole job is fundraising. So I make sure that the funds come in. If we don't have monetary resources, then we have people, other partners in the community who donate building supplies, donate labor, donate their time and expertise to help us move the needle forward. But yes, we raise $100,000 every year at our Heroes for Housing breakfast. So if we don't get ample funding for this, we will have funding for this.
Amazing, thank you.
You mentioned that you have 60 properties, 59 in Thurston County. Does that mean that your agency owns those 60 homes
That's
and takes care of them? And so this is just one that needs some help.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't like it in this way. It's fine. Yeah, I like it this way.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, next up.
Brandon.
I know, I'm like, I just like it that way.
I just wasn't sure if you liked it that way or that
yeah.
was, okay.
Cancer pathways.
Cancer pathways. Did you guys have a PowerPoint or a PDF?
No, actually, I don't have a beautiful PowerPoint.
That's okay. That's
presentation.
completely not required.
It's not-
Okay, great. So I did bring our trifold brochure, which does have an image on the front, which is of our family programming, our camp, so get that too. Maybe get that. And then I also have a flyer for this year's to come as well. Okay, so hello, my name is Cindy Miller and I'm the South Sound Program Manager for Cancer Pathways. Cancer Pathways has provided cancer education and support services to Washington families and individuals impacted by cancer since 2001. Our Sparkle Family Program, which includes our summer day camp and year-round programming for children, have been in operation for 20 plus years with enthusiastic repeat participation. In fact, many of our camp counselors are camp alumni, having attended camp themselves as young children. Our Director of Camp and Family Programs and the Program Manager for camp are unable to make it today because our Bellevue camp is happening right now this week. So unfortunately, they weren't able to be here. However, as a South Sound Program Manager, I would have a major role in the implementation and maintenance of the program here in Lacey, and I will do my best to answer any questions that you have about it. So our Sparkle Family Programming is not only really popular with our members, but it's also sustainable and is easily adapted to meet the needs of individual communities. Our original camp location is in Seattle, and we have successfully expanded to 3 locations in Woodinville, Bellevue, and in Tacoma. With the City of Lacey Human Services grant, Cancer Pathways would be able to bring Sparkle Family Programming here to Lacey and the families here living here in need of cancer support. So the support that the children and families receive through our services is invaluable to their well-being. Beyond the dates of camp, families have expressed a strong desire to stay connected with us, not only for the therapeutic play and activities, but also the connections that they have made with our staff and with others like them. This is what has led to the creation of our Sparkle Saturday programming. We call it Sparkle Saturdays, but it can be done at any time during the week. It's just the programming that we have throughout the year. So this is offered once a month throughout the school year. And with this grant, Cancer Pathways would pilot these Sparkle Saturdays throughout the next academic year, starting in September here in Lacey, building relationships with local cancer care providers and family support groups as a referral service, and hopefully building awareness and excitement about a potential summer camp, which would occur here in August of 2027. Our Director of Camp and Family Programs, who operates our Sparkle Family Programming, is a licensed social worker who has a curriculum developed for our Sparkle year-round program, ready to be implemented for a new location of family programming. Our staffing and training for camp is formalized with training sponsored by the Children's Oncology Camp Association, or COCA, and we currently have gold status membership with that association. As Cancer Pathways has been operating this program for many years in other parts of Washington, we are ready to meet the needs of the Lacey community as soon as funding is allocated. It is our belief that the support services that we provide to families impacted by cancer is a needed service that would fill a gap here in Lacey and in Thurston County. Sparkle Family Programming provides children impacted by cancer and their families a much needed community of support, a sense of belonging, and a space, sorry. This really means a lot to the kids that go to camp, and I always choke up just a little bit when I'm involved with camp. At a space for joy and laughter amid one of the most challenging situations that a family can face. Our mission is to provide pathways of support to anyone experiencing cancer, and it would be our privilege to serve the Lacey community with our programs.
Very well put. Thank you.
You can really hear your passion for your project. Currently, the Sparkle Saturdays is what you want to bring to the city of Lacey, correct?
Yes, so the plan is that with this grant, we would pilot the year-round program starting in September, right? So with the success of that year-round programming throughout the academic year, then we could implement the week-long camp during the summer.
And do you plan on partnering with the schools in the area?
We
In North
already
Thurston?
work, yeah, we already work with the schools. That's one of our other programs, is that we do student education programming for cancer risk reduction. That was one of the other programs that we thought about applying this grant for, but we decided to go with camp instead since we're already working on some of that student education. So we already do a lot of partnering with the schools. Where we need the development and the connections is with the local cancer care centers, the clinics, the medical centers. But I mean, this is still really new down here in Lacey and Thurston County. It's only been since the beginning of the year that we had one person dedicated to doing outreach here in this region.
Okay. And how many children do you plan on serving if you were to be awarded this grant?
So I have numbers for this year. So for Seattle, it's 30 children, for Woodinville 30, Bellevue 25, and then Tacoma 21. So about up to 30 with the wait list.
Between 20 to 30 with a wait list?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still just a tiny bit confused. The Sparkle Saturdays are different than the camp, correct?
They're all the same program, right? So it's all the Sparkle Family Programming. So with the grant, we would be implementing the year-round programming throughout the year. So what we call the Sparkle Saturdays. And then with the success of that, right? So we want to implement it, but then if we find that it's only like 6 kids that show up, then we're not really going to do the camp, or that we'll try with more outreach next time, right?
Okay.
But if there is success and then we are able to successfully reach out to clinics.
Then you make a camp here.
Right, and we can make the camp happen.
This flyer says that it's a day camp.
Correct.
Are each one of them day camp? They're not overnight camps?
Correct. They're not overnight camps. We did try overnight camps at one point, but I mean, these are vulnerable kids. It's gonna be tough for them to be away from their parents. So they don't handle that well, and the parents don't either. So it's just better for everyone to keep it as day camp.
I was curious, are you exploring other locations in Thurston County and or why Lacey?
Why Lacey? That's a good question. Primarily, I mean, we just started doing like a lot of really intense and really intentional outreach here in South Sound and in Thurston County as of this calendar year, because I live here. So I live here in Lacey. I've lived here for a few years. I really love living here, right? So when I communicate with Cancer Pathways up in Seattle, I'm always pushing for more programming down here because, I love this community with our programs that we have at Cancer Pathways for the community.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Interface Works, Sergio's.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
We have some brochures for you guys. Am I clicking or are you?
You're clicking. I just wanted to get it in the center, otherwise your clicker won't work.
Oh, good, okay. Hello, I am Linnea Byer. I am the program coordinator for Sergio's Service Center.
I'm Samuel Buvenzer. I'm the on-site manager for Sergio's.
We want to thank you for your interest in Sergio's and for having us here today. Or not. Nope, not working. Okay, before we get into what we do, I wanted to talk a little bit about why we do what we do. The inspiration behind our day center was folks like Sergio here, who accessed all possible services available to him, and still ended up slipping through the cracks, unfortunately. So we operate Sergio's in his honor, and with the hope that we can fill in some of those gaps so that folks like him have a safety net, for when they, if or when they fall through the cracks. Okay, going off of that, our model is a low barrier model and it is client-led and client-focused. So things like allowing pets, not requiring IDs for entry, allowing guests to come in whatever space they're in at any given time, are the ways that we achieve this and are the ways that we are able to reach more people. We are a community resource hub that provides a one-stop shop for folks to get a bridge to access other partner providers and resources in the area in a way that would be more challenging to access resources otherwise. All right, so while community connection is a big piece of the puzzle for what we do and what makes us special, the other part is the resources and services we're able to provide in-house. So things like access to bathrooms, laundry and shower services, charging stations and Wi-Fi access, clothing closet, hygiene supplies, all of those are some of the things that we're able to provide. Additionally, we have a team of peer navigators who provide case management type services on a drop-in basis from 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on our days of open operation. They are rarely unable to find a way to support the guests we see, whether it be through a referral to substance or mental health treatment, a referral to other resources, a listening ear, things like that. That's just kind of a snapshot of some of the things that they can provide, but they really do a lot for our participants. In addition to the peer case management services that we offer, we also are able to offer in-house mental health services through Ollie Smyer, who is an MSW who works for Interfaith Works. They're really flexible in what they're able to provide service-wise. They can do appointments or drop-ins. They can come in on an emergency basis if needed. And they're also flexible with like venues, so they can meet the guests at Sergio's, but they're also able to do any like virtual or phone appointments or drop-ins or at our other two locations that Interfaith has. And then as you can see here, we have a lot of partner providers that come in regularly and do outreach at Sergio's. We offer this because it helps us enrich what we have available and also provides a good cross-partner collaboration with a lot of the community resources. While these are most of our regular providers, we also have other partner agencies who come in on a more like unscheduled and flexible basis and do drop-ins or outreach with our participants.
There's a calendar on our website where you can see which providers will be at Sergio's at any given day as well.
Great.
Alrighty, and then we are a very key piece of the Thurston County hazardous weather response. So pretty on a dime, we will expand our hours of operation, open for overnight services in the winter months, and then also sometimes open on days that we are not normally open to provide space for people to get out of inclement and fatal weather situations. So we're able to do that because of our staff and partner agencies in our community. We also spend all of our time prepping for it because it can be called on really short notice. So we have supplies and equipment on hand to prepare. We also have regular like coordination meetings with internally and with other agencies throughout the year, as well as we host a monthly training for hazardous weather response so that we have a ready, like well of equipped and available staff and volunteers so that we are able to pull this together on such a short notice. So all of that allows us to provide like these emergency and life-saving services. And then here's just kind of a visual aid kind of to show how needed these services are and how truly impactful they are. So far in 2026, we have seen 1,500 unique individuals throughout over 8,000 visits. And the folks that we see are the most disconnected from services. And this year we're projecting 30,000 visits.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks. Any questions?
So I was reading through your application, it states that if you were awarded this grant, all of the funding would go towards personnel cost. Is that correct?
Towards what cost?
Personnel?
Personnel, yeah.
Okay.
We have recently, in this past year, due to budgeting constraints, had to cut a day of operation from what we used to be able to provide. So that would help us be able to maintain our current 4 days of operation. Otherwise, we would anticipate having to cut even more hours.
Thank
So
you.
it's at 4 right now?
Yeah,
Five?
it was 5, yes.
We cut Saturdays.
Cut Saturdays.
And that would allow you to bring Saturdays back to serve the community?
I don't know that we would be able to bring Saturdays back.
Potentially not.
Yeah,
lose another
but
day.
yeah, we would be more at risk of having to drop another day or cut our hours more.
Okay.
Ideally, we'd like to bring Saturdays back
Yeah.
because not a whole lot of outfits are open on Saturdays, and we've had feedback saying that
It's our
it's not a
like
place to go.
long-term, goal if we would get enough funding, but I'm not sure that like 30,000 would be able to do it.
I appreciate that.
Does it essentially become volunteer based when it's like an emergency situation then when you guys have to open up?
We'll staff it.
Yeah, like are you talking about for like hazardous weather?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So no.
we do have our own personnel that we have who staff it, but then we also have a lot of volunteers who help to come in with like setup and check-in and like take down, cleaning up, things like that. But we have a lot of like our trained staff and then staff from other agencies also who will come help staff it. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Just about, when you said, a lot of the folks who come to Sergio's are incredibly disconnected from other services. This is more of your impression since you all are on the ground. How does that happen? How do these levels of disconnection, is it, where are we failing in other areas?
I would say that a lot of it has to do with outreach, and recently we've been on a panel with a couple of different organizations such as the Thurston County Resource Hub to get the Southtown Resource Guide up and running. Before the Southtown Resource Guide existed, a lot of people just didn't know where to go. And there would be, postings downtown and stuff for different resources, but it wasn't as widespread or disseminated throughout the homeless community per se. We're seeing that change though.
Yeah, I think additionally, like even for like myself in some ways, and I'm sure a lot of us in this room, there are a lot of things that you gotta jump through like a lot of hoops to get to the resource you need or to where you need to go. And so that can be really challenging for the folks that we're seeing to have to do. And so to kind of provide just like one space where we're like, oh, hey, like, let me get you a referral for this, or here, they're actually gonna be here on Tuesday. If you come back at this time, you can talk to them, really helps like bridge that gap because otherwise they just aren't like getting that access. We are also like the lowest barrier model. And so a lot of the people we see are automatically like disqualified from some other services that they could benefit from just on account of having behavioral and mental health challenges, being an active substance use. And so having the like low barrier model really helps, again, provide a space that they can get more connected. Yeah.
To add on top of that too, we're a space that people can bring their items and bring their pets.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to access resources when you have a cart with all of your earthly belongings on it, or a dog. You can't go to some offices if you know, so we're a space where people can do that.
And as Michelle was going through all the community needs assessments, one of the things we kept hearing over and over again was being able to get connected to services, and there was some sort of like disconnect there.
Yeah.
You talked about Thurston County, it's like,
The Thurston County Resource Hub,
yeah, how new is that?
the South Sound Resource Guide, it started last year.
So it's relatively
It's
new.
pretty new. There's a website and there's also QR codes.
I mean, like,
Those
over and over and over again, that's what we kept hearing.
Yeah.
Like, people just either don't know about them or can't get to them, and
And I think that's what the guide is trying to alleviate. So I'm really excited about the guide personally, and we have monthly meetings where we all get together.
that part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and for us too, we're right on a couple bus lines, so it's pretty easily accessible for people who don't have other modes of transportation. And we're constantly upping the partner providers that we're working with, so.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also some business cards if any of you guys have
Sure.
questions on some of that.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Next up. North Thurston Education Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Getting all the things now. I'm sure you have their contact. There you go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Deanna East. I'm the Executive Director of North Thurston Education Foundation. We are an independent, community-based nonprofit that served students of Lacey for nearly 40 years. In 1986, a task force was assembled by then Superintendent John Gott when he realized that staff were trying to keep up personally with the personal needs of students in their care because tax dollars couldn't be spent on those items. So we became a 501c3, and our mission is to mobilize the resources necessary to enrich programs, provide basic needs, and enhance the educational opportunities for the students of North Thurston Public Schools. But our vision is that every student, regardless of their financial situation, has the opportunity to excel and achieve their dreams. Push this ahead. So this is a picture of North Thurston Public Schools. For the last, we're not quite ready for the school year we just finished. Nearly over 1,100 students were identified as homeless. 217 of those students were unaccompanied homeless youth, and over 6,300 students on free and reduced lunch. For a district that's about 15,000 students, that's nearly half of our students on free and reduced lunch. When we take a look at our impact that we did in the schools this last year, we were able to provide basic need items to over 10,000 students right at their schools. We do that with having a credit card at every school building, so those items can be quickly and quietly taken care of by staff that already have a relationship with them. We've collected 1,900 coats in that year and over 2,000 pieces of hygiene items in the community as well. Last year, we were finally able to move into the new building, yes, in December. So we, not only the Family and Youth Resource Center was able to move in, but North Thurston Education Foundation has their office in that building as well, further cementing our partnership with the district. Even though we were closed for the month of December, we still served over 1,300 students in that facility. And it is beautiful if you have not had the chance to go into that building. When children come in, they get to shop that picture is a little boutique that they can go in and actually shop for the clothing for back to school. So when that reopens in August, it becomes very busy. We were able to this year have a food pantry in every single building. And on top of donated food, we purchased 32,000 items to be in those closets. As we see more and more families struggling with food at home, that need has been increasing in the schools. Our majority of our programs serve our homeless and low-income students with basic needs and removing the barriers to education and after-school activities. We collaborate with local businesses and community groups to fundraise and raise awareness. We serve as a bridge in between the public generosity and the students' needs, ensuring that they have privacy and dignity in meeting those needs. We utilize our partnership with North Thurston Public Schools staff to be able to take advantage that they already have the connection to these families. And we don't need to redo that connection. So they have the access to be able to get those needs for the students. If they don't feel comfortable in accessing that with staff at their school, that's why the Family and Youth Resource Center comes in. They can come to that facility and nobody knows. They go in by themselves, nobody else is in that room when they're shopping. So it again adds that little bit of layer for the student to be able to access those things they need quickly, discreetly, and trying to avoid some of the stigma and shame. Some of the other areas that we're able to do is, since we're in the building with that staff, we're able to coordinate with Brenda McCafferty as the liaison, and then other staff members that are working directly also with our homeless students, especially in high school. This is a little picture of our budget for our student support needs for the next year. About $65,000 going directly to those credit cards that the staff are using throughout the district. $45,000 for our homeless assistance program. $30,000, this is key. For the last 2 years, we have been a recipient of the Lacey grant, and we were able to expand our emergency rental assistance. When we talk about emergency, we're talking about families that have a pay or vacate notice, or they're homeless and they're moving into a home. This is a one-time assistance. Most of the families that accessing our services, we're finding that why they have that one-time need is because of either child getting sick or the breadwinner getting sick. And so they just need that extra little bump to get over that hurdle and be able to keep in their homes. You're gonna see the spending for the food pantries. We have a small learning improvement grants that help classrooms that are meeting needs that were not met, or they're inspiring a new project that a teacher wants to try out to make learning more fun. We are also very blessed that we have a very active endowed scholarship program. So we're able to give out over $125,000 in students, not only while they're helping students, not only while they're in school, but when they're going on to what's next. I just got a beautiful letter the other day from one of our students that was one of the unaccompanied homeless youth. And she has gone on and she's actually going to school at University of Washington. And she just sent me a really beautiful letter about how not only did someone at the school help her apply for those first scholarships, but she became one of our scholarship winners. And then she was able to go on and continue with her schooling and continue to apply for more scholarships because what she learned. So it was just a really nice little, as I walk through 50 scholarships winners in the next couple months. And thank you so much. And I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
I don't have any. I know Brenda and Teresa very well. So you guys do amazing work. Thank you.
Work a lot together.
I agree.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Innovations Human Trafficking Collaborative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No.
I was like,
We figured we only had 5 minutes, so.
Yeah, it's a lot.
With our talk.
okay, thank you.
You're on.
All right. My name is Sean Smith. Everyone calls me Smitty. I'm a case manager with Innovations Human Trafficking Collaborative. I'm here today with Samantha Gilbertson. She's my executive director. I'll be presenting, she'll be answering the questions. Teamwork.
It makes the dream work.
It does. That's the only way we've been able to survive. Okay, so Innovations was founded in 2016, Indigenous based, but we serve everyone. We don't curtail to any one population. The people that we serve are victims that have experienced human trafficking, whether sex or labor, also domestic violence and sexual assault. So we recently expanded our services. So we provide case management, training and technical assistance. Recently just presented for the Public Defender's Office. Also, we are a statewide program. So we recently went to Spokane and spoke to them at a domestic violence coalition conference. One of the tribes was there, Spokane tribe. They saw us in action and really appreciated how we treated and respected Indigenous people. So they asked us to come back out to speak to their tribe during an event. So we've done that recently as well. Worked with the city of Lacey and spoke at the DEIB summit here in Lacey. That was a very successful and cultural event, covering also the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and People program. We also partner with Puyallup Tribe to provide training on human trafficking in Indian country. So I don't know if you know, there are 29 federally recognized tribes here in the state of Washington, and there are other tribes that aren't recognized that make up tribes in the area. We provide culturally informed resource navigation as well. Culture is important to us. It talks about the people that we serve. We serve vulnerable populations. We see all walks of life come through our doors. And so they're either walk-ins, referrals. We get phone calls all the time and people will do an intake and we're already providing services for them. We are the only certified safe house in Washington under Safe House Project. So the Safe House Project is national and we work with that organization constantly. We have been able to bring victims from another state to our state and put them in our safe house, which is in your city limits, and provide them a safe place to live. It is independent living and it is transitional, so up to 1 year. There is a dollar figure tied to that, but that is low barrier. That doesn't matter right now, especially if they don't have a job. We work with them and provide scholarships most of the time. So far this year, we've served 14 women. It is for single women victims. We don't have the capacity to house families at this point. Who knows what the future holds? We are also peer support trained, trauma-informed trained. We are also crisis intervention trained. We do provide co-response. We've responded with the MOT team and the crisis response unit and the local Lacey Police Department. We recently had an operation here in your city limits with 3 other state, federal, and local agencies. It was a very successful operation because of the partnerships and the relationships that we've built with our community partners. And some of them are here and maybe have left already for the day, but we can't do it alone. We need you, we need them, and together I believe we can do more. So that event, living here in this area, it makes it more personal for us. And yes. I'm sorry. So that was the first page you had. The second page, we'll talk a little more about the Safe House certification. And we had a story that we didn't get to, but I will tell you, with the money, if we receive the money for this grant, I don't
What's the
think.
story? How about that?
Tell you.
Tell us the
Okay.
story.
Okay, so we're putting a name to this individual. It's not her real name, but it would be, we're gonna call her Bonnie, okay? Bonnie came to us, she was in crisis. She was struggling with substance use, and she was estranged from her family. And she was old enough to have grandkids, so you can imagine the amount of family that this individual had. But because of her being a victim of human trafficking and having those other things go on, she was removed from her support system. So she came to us we call it the Healing Journey Home. That's what our safe house is called. So after working with her case manager, and we have an in-house therapist, so, addressing those mental health concerns, we have individuals we have employees that are SUDP trained as well, substance use disorder professional trained. So hitting all the different areas, in other words, wraparound services. We also have a clothing closet, food, water, all those things in office. That way, when they come for one thing, they can meet with their case manager, see the therapist, hit the clothing closet, eat something, take their jacket off because they're drenched because we live in the Northwest. And it's amazing that through the process of working with us, she re-engaged with her family, and they're calling her mom now, and they're calling her grandma. And they rebuilt that relationship that they lost because someone made her a victim one day.
Very nice.
And I just throw that out there. This would be totally awesome. I'm already getting excited, so I'm gonna turn it over to Sam for questions.
Hi,
So,
Sam.
thank you for your presentation. The 14 women that you served this past year, what number of those would be Lacey area women? Because I know you mentioned bringing someone else in, which we celebrate, right?
Right.
Help whoever you can, but the reality is we're city funded, right? So what number of those ladies were from Lacey?
So all of them were from Lacey, but two. So
Okay.
we had one from Arizona and one from California that came in.
Okay.
And because it's transitional housing, what happens after that year?
So they work with our housing case manager and we make sure that they do have permanent housing to go through afterwards.
Great.
We've had all of our residents besides one transition into permanent housing. If something happens and they do not have permanent housing to go to after that year, then we do have the option to extend them.
That's amazing. And how long has this house been, how long have you been operating out of this
2
house?
years.
2 years, okay, thank you.
Could you remind me how much you're asking for?
The full 30,000.
We also set goals, have them set goals. They're a participant in this. We're trying to help them help themselves. And I had a client tell me that she didn't know she could set a goal because she's seen a life through that trauma lens still. And I said, yes, we can do that and we'll do it together. And we also rely on community partners as well. We've been able to do amazing things. We had an organization donate a vehicle to one of our clients who is a DoorDash driver whose vehicle broke down for the very last time. 300,000 miles, it wasn't gonna go anywhere. A mom and pop repair shop dealership decided to donate a vehicle to one of our clients so that she could be back on the road. And then one of our local churches in your city limits donated money in order to pay for the title transfer. And immediately after we got back from doing the title transfer, she was already on her first call for DoorDash. Because somebody had a vision and had a heart. And
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Aerospace Machinist Joint Training Committee.
We're not taking a break.
I think that's next.
You wanna take a break or?
I can wait for a little while. But
Wait a
not
little
to
bit
the
more.
end.
One more.
One more.
Not to the
Right
end.
after this one, we'll take a quick 5-minute break if that's okay with everybody. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So I think our executive director is going to pop in virtually.
Is there someone waiting in there?
Is that Lynn?
That's Lynn, yeah,
Okay, let me see.
yeah. And you know, just a quick comment to the commission and to everybody out here. As a former homeless youth in Olympia, I can attest to how critical your services are for people in our community, and I'm really, really proud of everybody who's come up here. It makes me, it's really incredible to see. So thank you all.
Lynn, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. and I
Yay,
can
oh,
see
there
you
she is,
now.
perfect. So Lynn will give the introduction about AJAC and kind of what we do, and then I'll
Okay.
go into the program.
All right.
So I just wanted to first say thank you for inviting us here to present. I also wanted to say I didn't hear what Damien was saying, but it really has been impactful for me to sit here and hear all of the other presentations to see the great things that are going on in the community. So my name is Demetria Lynn Strickland. I do go by Lynn. I am the executive director for AJAC. And AJAC, just wanted to give you a little bit of a background. AJAC, we are a statewide nonprofit apprenticeship, an apprenticeship program. We were established in 2008. And we do provide apprenticeship services. So we are part of the workforce development system, and we just use the apprenticeship model of training to help to train the workforce. So we serve the advanced manufacturing industries and sectors, which includes aerospace, space, agriculture, biomedical, food processing, wood products, and other sectors. So AJAC in and of itself, we have about 25 full-time staff, about 60 part-time staff. And again, this is across the state of Washington. We serve about 400 registered apprentices a year and about 200 apprenticeship preparation completers per year. So our program is an incumbent, our registered apprenticeship program is an incumbent registered apprenticeship program. So we provide pathways into industry for individuals. We offer 17 occupations. 2 of those occupations allow for young people as young as 16 to participate, and it crosses the manufacturing spectrum from production to maintenance to logistics and operations. And then we also have an apprenticeship preparation program, which we call Manufacturing Academy. But we couldn't do what we do without partnerships. So we partner with close to 325 employers across the state of Washington, about 14 school districts, 7 community and technical colleges, other CBOs, workforce organizations, and state agencies to be able to do what we're doing. But for this particular project, Future Ready Makers partnerships are AJAC North Thurston Public Schools, Envision Career Academy, Lacey Makerspace, and ACE Strategies. So that's just a little bit of history and the background and the scope of AJAC and who we are. So now I will turn it over to Damien.
All right, and I believe we have a PowerPoint. I don't have the clicker, so.
I will, did the clicker disappear?
It's right there next to you.
Perfect, all right, hey.
Okay, let me find.
Right.
There it is here.
And I know time's ticking, so I'll kind of,
Go on, go on.
I'm all nervous. Oh,
Okay, wait,
pause it. No, sorry.
okay. Full screen. Ta-da.
Perfect, there's her logo. Page, who is Ajax, so obviously Lynn went through this. So really, the challenge is that we identified as Lacey Youth Lead Pathways to Family Wage Careers, right? So since we specialize in manufacturing, many students are kind of unaware of that's a pathway, and a pathway that offers entryway into high wage, high demand jobs. I mean, manufacturing is growing. We work with 300+ employers all over Washington State. They tell us something the same thing. We need people, right? And we need qualified people and people who are interested, people who will show up on time, people who will want to learn. And so we want to give those students that early exposure, so they don't miss those critical entry points into skilled occupations. And so the South Sound manufacturing sector would benefit from a stronger talent pipeline, starting at the high school level, right? So we do offer youth programs. We work with some school districts. We have down in my territory, I'm the regional program manager for Southwest Washington. We run Elma, a youth program, a Napa Vine youth program. And we have some in Pierce County and North, right? So it's a great opportunity to get youth interested in manufacturing. So this is where we all kind of got together with ACE Strategies, with Envision Academy, with Lacey Makerspace, where my office is. And we came up with this pilot for Future Ready Makers. And it's a hands-on pilot built for Lacey students, right? That are, so we will target 10th grade students at Envision Academy. There'll be 14 sessions, 2 hours each, delivered at Lacey Makerspace. We're looking at launching it in October of 2026 through June 2027. And what we will be doing is we will be providing the curriculum and the instruction and the projects. I'll be setting up tours to go to different manufacturers so they can see what each one does. They will do projects. They will, to be determined. So probably we'll have them learn how to do, read blueprints and do shop math and learn math, safety, shop safety, work on mills, lathes, that sort of thing, right? Get them excited about it. I mean, we have students who have graduated from our youth program who are making parts that go into space. I mean, that is super cool, right? And so the kind of initial outcomes were 80% of the participants will demonstrate an increased awareness of manufacturing careers, greater confidence in pursuing the skilled trade pathways, and measurable growth in manufacturing knowledge. So the idea is that we are giving them an introduction to this. And in the first year, we will, well, I guess I'll get to that. The first year we're looking at 5 students. Right, and then next year we plan to grow that through the 3-year period. So our ask is $22,000, which also leverages $25,000 in matching funds or support that we have. So our total program budget will be $47,000. And again, our 3-year growth plan is to serve the 30 students with a diversified funding strategy that includes state grants, WIOA, foundation support, and whatever other, maybe Pac Mountain will kick in some, maybe, Chamber will, or, wherever we can kind of cobble that money together. So I think I went over a little time, but any questions?
So you anticipate in this next fiscal year to serve 30 students?
So over the next 3 years.
3 years, okay.
3 years, yeah. So
5 the first year.
5 the first year, because that's what Envision has determined that they can realistically get to for the initial pilot. And then this would become sort of a model for how we could roll it out to other schools within our area.
So when a student completes, will they have a certificate or anything like that that they can show to an employer that says, I've done this training?
So yeah, and that's a great question. Yes, they will. They'll have some certifications, and our relationship with employers is really strong. They recognize that people who have come through our programs, whether it be our manufacturing academy, which this is kind of a modified version of that, or our apprenticeship programs, that they have been well trained and to enter onto the shop floor. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would just like to add, 5 seems like a small amount, but it is a pilot project and we are working to help to develop some curriculum for this. And so we can pilot it in partnership with the school district. And when we do programs, we always like to give individuals not just a certificate that says, hey, you've completed this program, but we actually have assessments with these youth or individuals from any of our programs, what they have learned, what their competencies are. So, trying to give them a package so that when they go to an employer to get a job, they have the credentials, the certificate, but also the employer can look to see what the individuals are competent at. And also in these programs, especially with young people, it really does help to build them, to help them to build confidence when they do go into when they do go into industry, to be able to not just talk about but to be able to show the things that they've learned through these particular programs, especially the hands-on piece of that.
And we do have career navigation services as well. So when they're out of the program, we are always talking to employers who are looking for people to bring in, right? So we can draw from that pool. And so they're not just kind of out there flailing on their own, if that's the pathway they want to take, right? So
And how do you guys determine who gets into the program?
that will be determined by Envision and by the instructors over there, yeah.
So there's an application process.
I believe there will be an application process, yes, they will be vetted, yeah. Generally, that's how it's done on the school districts, at the school districts, is we want to make sure that this is something that they are genuinely interested in and want to complete, right? So that's how we work it with Elma and Napavine. They apply, they interview, and are vetted, and to make sure that that is what they want to do.
So there's a vision in Ultra in high school?
It's a career academy here in Lacey.
So will you have contracts with the Lacey Space Maker? Is that what?
Makerspace.
Makerspace and Envision Career Academy. Will you contract so that the three of you have full understanding of what each other is doing?
Yes, and we have we've gone through quite a lengthy process to get to this point to launch the program. But yes, we will have a contract, and everybody's roles will be well defined.
I loved the phrase family wage careers, because we need to not have kids making enough money to make it today, but they need to be talking about how can I support my family in the future? And a lot of our training today is not that kind of a training.
Yeah, it's really critical as we see, prices go up and it becomes more and more difficult. And we know the manufacturing sector pays really well. And college is great, absolutely fantastic. It's not for everybody.
Right.
This is a great pathway for folks who decide that's not for them.
Right.
And it will provide those living wages and those family level wages and allow them to perhaps buy a house or do what they need to do and be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Okay, real quick, so we'll just take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be
Thank you.
at 7:03. We'll come back.
Thank you.
5 minutes. Keep it moving.
I'll keep it moving. Trying to sing to you.
I'll be recusing myself for Family Support Center.
Family Support Center. Okay, I'll make sure that.
I didn't think it was appropriate.
No.
Did not agree with a lot of what they said, so.
There.
What? Yeah.
We're still the audio. New meal tax.
South Sound?
Puget Sound.
Puget Sound. Thank you.
You read like me.
Yeah. What I do is I just,
Back in session.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and resume this session now at 7:03. Thanks.
Is Family Promise online?
Is Katie here? Katie Hibbert?
Oh,
Katie Hibbert's on.
she may be.
Kendra Scott. No, I don't see Katie. Go to Boys and Girls Club?
Let's do it.
All right, Boys and Girls Club, Mike.
Yeah. And Aaron, you know, and Mike.
Wait,
Are you with the Family Promise of Puget Sound?
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
sorry.
You're up.
I'm sorry?
You're up.
Everybody saw it.
Thank you.
Did you have a PowerPoint or a PDF? I can't remember.
It was the slides, it was Google Slides.
Oh, Google Slides.
No, we can go without, trust me, but that PDF was big.
Nope.
Here it is.
Thank you.
When I showed Michelle earlier this morning, she said that's pretty long, so I had to bring it down.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. And since it isn't a PowerPoint, I'll just kind of scroll down as you're ready to move on, just tell me.
Okay, that's great. Pretty much a sentence per slide. I have so much information to share with you. I'm gonna do the best I can. This is the tip of the iceberg, so please ask questions. I can share more. My name is Katie. I am a shelter manager and a crisis case manager for Family Promise of Puget Sound. Family Promise of Puget Sound started as Family Promise of Pierce County in September of 2023. I believe the first month they took in about 25 to 40 unduplicated intakes or consultations. April 2026 was our biggest year so far with 439 unduplicated intakes or consultations. And I believe June of 2026 was 393 unduplicated intakes or consultations. And that is from Pierce, Thurston, Kitsap, King, and Mason counties. On our cards, you can get help. This is where you can get a consultation or do our intake form. You can create a plan to move forward to self-sufficiency. You can also create your resume and you can donate. So what we want to do here is we want to close the gap or the void that is a critical unmet need across Puget Sound for eviction prevention and immediate shelter for families with minor children. Our operational engine runs on 3 pillars: sustaining impact by fostering long-term family independence, creating safe environments where marginalized families feel seen and heard. Our CEO has built a technology platform named Ashnag. It unifies our entire operational ecosystem, including automated SMS, web chat, central databases, real-time financial tracking, ensuring no family falls through the administrative cracks. To date, we have successfully housed 218 families. Most importantly, the countywide, I believe this is for Pierce, the countywide average for returns to homelessness sits at 11%. Family Promise graduates experience a return rate of just 1.4%. So the Lacey Family Stabilization and Transitions Project is what we're naming it. We are requesting city funding to establish a brand new physical master lease transitional housing property located strictly inside Lacey. This establishes localized infrastructure dedicated exclusively to Lacey residents experiencing housing instability. The true bedrock of this program is that our staff is 100% has direct personal experience with housing instability and poverty. expansion aligns perfectly with the city's stated strategic goals. It provides intensive transitional residential placement, incorporates behavior, medical health. We also have a legal provider. We have somebody that will help you fix your car, and direct case management. We also have integrated youth programs and because it's for children oh God, if I could speak and talk at the same time. For local children, help protect them from trauma. The program is designed to serve over 150 unduplicated individuals within the year. I see that number as larger and possibilities much wider because we can just about assist with any crisis situation for families or individuals. So the first tier is deep intervention on Lacey families with minor children facing active imminent eviction. Tier 2 opens up broad assistance for any local resident navigating a housing crisis via our 24/7 navigation lines. Our phone lines are open 24/7. Clients move through 3 sequential phases. The first is triage, using immediate diversion first tools on our 24/7 hotline. Second is stabilization, physically moving families into the Lacey property. Third is launch, graduating these families into permanent housing placement. While residing in the home, families participate in our savings framework, contributing a minimum of 25% of their gross income into a protected fund. Upon graduation, 100% of these accumulated savings are returned directly to the family to cover their moving costs and rental deposits. Okay, so this program integrates smoothly with existing systems. Family Promise of Puget Sound has an existing MOU with Family Support Center of South Sound, so we can provide coordinated entry. We utilize Washington State Foundational Community Supports, or FCS, and we directly collaborate with school systems. Financially, this project is uniquely efficient because a Family Promise absorbs all executive leadership, executive accounting, and baseline technology costs through our existing regional hub. The Lacey grant dollars do not get spent on institutional overhead. 91.5% of your funding goes directly to local property lease, local utilities, face-to-face peer case management. We have the framework built. Our peer-led team is ready to deploy, and we have the regional infrastructure ready to back them up. We just need your partnership to launch.
I see that your application states that you guys are gonna have a master lease for a 3 to 4 bedroom, and that's what this funding will be utilized for. How many families do you plan on serving in that unit? And and are they for 90 days? And are you going to?
So that would ensure 3 to 4 families at the time. Initial program would be 90 days. This is for families with minor children or disabled dependents. And they would have the ability, if they would like to save more, to stay up to 6 months.
And you work towards self-sufficiency, housing stability, getting them into permanent housing.
Correct.
Are you working with any other local agencies in Thurston County to get like housing vouchers, tenant-based unit vouchers, anything like that?
Yes, like I said, we have an signed MOU with Family Support Center of South Sound. And I am working to be a credentialed CE person that I can take that assessment for them and hand it to them and get that in there for them. I have worked directly with Jessica with the Lacey Crew Department. We'll work with anybody. We're happy to assist wherever we can, and we don't turn anyone away.
Thank you.
So but the program hasn't started yet, you're just waiting
No,
for the funds?
This is the pilot, this is the catalyst, yeah.
Okay.
We do have shelters, however, and the model is very similar in the sense that our shelter case managers work directly with our clients who are in that shelter, and we meet with them at least twice a week, discuss goals, how we're working on that goals, how far we are, things of that nature.
Have you guys already identified a property that you wanna lease?
No, it shouldn't be too difficult. We also work with an organization called Red Dot.
Mhm.
And they have helped us in the past be able to.
Yeah, they have properties here.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with Red Dot.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The Girls Club, Mike.
He's back.
We do have a PowerPoint.
You have a jacket too.
Yeah.
I need one. It looks pretty warm.
They're great. Honestly, great. Good evening. I'm Mike Babauta. I'm the Director of Resource Development for Boys and Girls Clubs of Thurston County.
And I'm Erin Scheel. I'm our grants manager and communications manager. And we're sort of tag teaming here to give you a bit more info about our application. This is our third year applying for these funds, and we've been successfully able to implement the program for the last 2 years with your help. Those years we funded full club participation for a year-long program for over 100 youth each year who are experiencing homelessness in the North Thurston Public Schools to attend 2 clubs in Lacey. One is our Lacey branch, and one is our Rajman House Activity Center branch, which is a teens-only center. And so this year, again, we are seeking your support to continue that program. That program is now in its, I believe, 11th year. Mike helped launch it with the partnership of North Thurston Public Schools 10 years ago when they came to us and said, we've got a problem of a lot of kids who are riding buses outside of the county or outside of the school district sometimes, or even within the school district, but just stuck on the bus for a really long time because they are entitled to that transportation through McKinney-Vento to their temporary residence. But they are, not getting the most out of that time when they're on the bus for hours and hours. So we act as a hub at our clubs that do this program, where instead of having to wait on the bus while other kids are dropped off, they stay at the club and become just part of the club family and get to have the entire experience of being part of our community from kindergarten through senior year. And so this program, we're requesting $30,000 to fund 10% of the cost of the program. The cost of the program is about $300,000. You'll see in your budget in our application. And that will serve another 100 students.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And I think it's important to note that the need being so urgent, the last OSPI numbers that we got for this past school year stated that there is about 933 kids identified in North Thurston Public Schools identified as being homeless in some capacity. And we know that kids just don't perform well when they're dealing with that type of trauma, disrupting their education, disrupting, just the lack of consistency and sometimes a safe environment. And so we can help really address that. And like Erin stated, that a lot of times if a kid is living in a motel in Tacoma, they might be on the bus for 2 to 3 hours while local routes get done. And then why not come to the Boys and Girls Club? We can provide a lot of those protective factors. Honestly, we're a relationship business disguised as a youth program. That's really what it comes down to. And our biggest commodity and our most special commodity is the kids that we serve and the staff that interact and provide those supports. So it's really important to understand the need based on the statistics and the services that we provide. And like I said, the academic support, the caring adult mentors, the snack, that's so incredibly important between stability and food. That probably solves 95% of the issues that a lot of these kids are experiencing from their school day, their extended school day, all the way back to going wherever their unstable nighttime environment is. There's a lot of opportunity and access to understand that you can belong, you could be useful, you can have influence, and you can be competent. And so we provide all 4 of those factors when you come to our clubs. And honestly, normalcy is such an important part of what we provide. That's a very broad stroke, a generalization, but normalcy is so important for these kids. And that's something that the club provides, both between the relationships and the programs and the building itself and everything we provided. And so I can't stress the normalcy factor of that. And like Erin said, the $30,000 is going to help us. We spent 25 years meeting the needs of kids, and regardless of the funding landscape. And so we'll continue to do that, but partnership with the city and the CDBG grant allows us to do it more efficiently, quicker, and serve more kids. So that answers the question on what happens if this doesn't come to fruition. It's still gonna happen, but your partnership makes that much more enhanced and more impactful. I think that's important to understand. And then working directly, like Deanna was saying earlier, with Brenda McCaffrey being the homeless liaison, the district essentially serves as an intake for us, refers the students, and then there's no questions asked. Come be a member, this is what we provide. District will drop you off, district will pick you up to whatever your nighttime environment is. And so that those, 2 to 4 hours of after school time is where we can provide the normalcy and honestly sometimes be an extension of the school day. Honestly, another factor is it allows caregivers and parents who are trying to get out of this situation the opportunities to do that, knowing that their kids are safe while they're at the club before they're sent back home. And again, we're a relationship business. That's what we do. And this is what your partnership provides if given the opportunity.
Thank you.
And that's our time.
I don't have any questions. You guys helped my kids when they were young, so.
So I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely.
So is your program after school only, or is there weekend or summers or?
So we do camps, school break camps as well. Those are an additional fee for most folks. But again, if you're identified to be in this program, we're going to remove that barrier both financially and any sort of other barriers that you might have. But traditionally for the school year, it's after school, about 2 to 6 p.m. We have our spring break and our summer and our winter break camps as well. Sometimes we'll consolidate services depending on if it's a school-based model or a standalone facility. But essentially, yes, we do break camps on top of after school.
I just want to clarify, because I might have misread the slide. There's no cost either for transportation or a fee for service. There's
Zero cost.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you are a normally paying family, it's a $90 annual membership fee and a $280 monthly fee. And even for those families, we'll find a way to make it work. Fees aren't a barrier to our services.
I'll add too that the summer and spring and winter day camps are full day so that parents can continue working and supporting their families during the breaks, which can often be a challenge. And then that's another outcome of the program being, this is year-long enrollment in the club for these 100 kids, is that this is a long-term intervention in their life, and they become part of the club community and often come multiple years and become staff themselves at the Boys and Girls Clubs when they grow older, participate in all kinds of workforce development programs. We have a quote I just want to leave you with from a graduate of our program who wanted to advocate for kids to have the same opportunities she did. She said, "When I was 12, I didn't know how many people worked quietly behind the scenes so that I could continue being a kid while surviving circumstances no child should have to navigate. I just knew that someone cared enough to make sure I had somewhere to go. And that somewhere was the club. My friends at the club healed something in me that they never broke." So it kind of ends up a life cycle program where.
And the full circle is she works for us now.
That's
So
even
she
more
went
amazing.
from literally sleeping in Walmart parking lot in her car, coming from St. Louis to now full circle, working back with those same kids that have had a shared experience. So that's really awesome for us.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Chair.
Yes.
I know that Kim needs to leave because they have a child getting dropped off. And so I was wondering if we could move them up one.
They're the Family Sports Center.
And I'll go ahead and recuse myself.
Okay, also on this sheet, I have 2 different spellings for, is it Mikiant?
I spelled it because it was
It's me, Chalantla.
Michulama. This is where
It's La, Chiantla.
Chiampa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Kendra here? Okay.
Yeah, they're on
Alright, so yeah, we'll just, we're gonna make a quick adjustment to the
agenda.
and we're gonna move the Family Support Center up. There's some pressing needs for some childcare. And so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And also one of our
I would like to go on record. I work at the Family Support Center,
Thank you.
Commissioner, and I'm gonna go ahead and recuse myself while
Okay.
it's their presentation because I will not be scoring this application.
Thanks, Tiffany. We'll let you know right as soon as it's over.
Great, thank you.
And thank you for the switch to those folks that are online who thought they were presenting next. I do have a kiddo being dropped off imminently. at
No
my
problem.
home, so appreciate this. And then Michelle, when you queue up that presentation and you have those funky little bars, if you put that long one in the upper right-hand corner, that will mess with the presentation at least a bit.
Okay, why don't I see it here? I know we looked at it because we edited
You
it.
let me put in 2 letters, yes. There we are.
There it is, okay, 'cause I know it's there. Okay, and this, and then this.
Great. My name is Maya. I'm here representing Family Support Center of South Sound today. Our mission is working together to strengthen all families and survivors. We do envision a community where all of those families and survivors are feeling safe, they feel valued, they know that they're supported, and they're able to work toward a healthier and a more hopeful future. We were founded in 1992 by a group of child advocates. Their main mission was to create a stronger support network for children. And they realized in order to do that, they thought that the best idea was to create a strong family unit. And what they wanted to do was to create a one-stop shop with as many resources and programs in a singular location as they possibly could. We've taken that model and grown. At this point, we have over 50 staff members who are dedicated to providing tailored wraparound supportive services for families with children and survivors. Today, I'm particularly talking about our homeless family services. So FSC, or Family Support Center, serves as the coordinated entry point for all homeless families with children and survivors of domestic violence in Thurston County. We serve families who are literally homeless, so sleeping in their tents, sleeping in their cars. As of March, there were over 350 families who were on the housing list. And then there were another 100 survivors who are on that housing list, so 450 households in total. We also serve hundreds more families. As you've heard today, we have a lot of families who are facing like housing instability, such as couch surfing. Maybe they're getting an eviction notice. Those are some of those students that you're seeing, particularly from North Thurston Education and the Boys and Girls Club. So they're kind of telling a bigger story about homelessness in Thurston County. All of our programs are low barrier. Our staff uses trauma-informed services. Everything is client-driven, so the clients are setting the goals themselves. And then we use a strengths-based approach. So what is going well for you? What resources do you have? How can we leverage those to get you to the next point in your journey and what your goals are? We do have multiple sub-programs. I think about it as homeless family services is this larger umbrella underneath which is our eviction prevention, our family resource services, which is a lot of community navigation, working with a lot of the partners that you've already heard from today. That's also where our diversion program is. So somebody is tipping over the precipice into homelessness, and we divert them from entering into that system with a one-time financial fee. That is one of the things that we are particularly requesting with this grant that we work. Once they do become homeless, that's when they enter in that coordinated entry system. We support them with housing case management, rapid rehousing, permanent supportive housing, and any other funding sources that we can possibly find. Now, those programs work in tandem with our other programs such as Housing First, Parent and Child Education, FJC, or the Family Justice Center, which is our survivor-focused program, the Landing, the affordable housing complex that we built a few years ago, and then Pathways program, which is actually a new one in partnership with Choice Regional Health Network. All of this combines to create a pretty good success rate. So about 90% of the households that exit our program are still housed 6 months later, and that's after their rental assistance is over. So they're still doing great on their own 6 months later. We do amplify every single dollar, and that is through these relationship building, just the relationships that we have built, I should say, over the last 30 plus years. We really focus on collaboration. We don't want to duplicate efforts. We want to support people who are already doing the work and invite them to come and support families that we're serving as well. We really leverage funds. Some of the funds that if we receive the $30,000, we can leverage with our HUD domestic violence housing grant to support survivors, or we can leverage it with the money that we get from HUMI or Help Us Move In. So we're always trying to figure out how to maximize every single dollar.
I will say one of the cool things is that our staff is also at community meetings across the county and even across the state. So we're always kind of figuring out what are best practices, what are the current gaps, what are emerging trends. We did receive this grant in 2024. During that grant period, we served 676 parents, children, and survivors in or from Lacey. Over half of those were served through the HFS or Homeless Family Services program. Now, we're always going a bit above and beyond. We've got our birthday closet resource station, we've got community gardens that we're building. No task is too big. So really, if you invest in our agency, you are strengthening the entire community through that investment. And thank you. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Can I just get you to clarify?
Yeah.
You have 676 families that were, or individuals?
Individuals, yep. And so that's because in our Family Justice Center program, you don't have to be a family unit. We do serve singles through that program. So
Okay.
it's 676 from Lacey during that year time period.
Okay, that's Lacey specific.
That is very much Lacey specific. In a given year, we serve about 4,100 individuals and then actually another 1,500 as the lead coordinated entry provider.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Other questions?
So what sort of justice services do you offer?
I'm sorry, say that
What
again.
sort of justice services do you offer?
Yeah, so the Family Justice Center, I just have been writing grants for that, so it's very much in my mind. The Family Justice Center is a collaborative program with the Thurston County Sheriff's Office, the Prosecutor's Office, and then the Clerk's Office. So we offer confidential safety planning, advocacy, legal advocacy. We actually, through a Providence grant, offer mental health support. We're applying for hotel stays. And we just have a really good breadth of services for them. So in the Family Justice Center specifically, it's about 175 to 200 survivors a year. But if you look at the 1,300 households that we serve in a given year, 60% of those households in total say that they have domestic violence as one of the things that has led to their current situation.
And so you're thinking that part of the money you're asking for would go to support that or not?
It will. Because, so say somebody comes in, you're a survivor, you come in, you need some safety planning, great. Now you have gotten to a safe location for a couple of days, you need housing. We're gonna connect you with our housing program that specifically serves domestic violence survivors. So we do a lot of cross referrals across our programs, or you've been in this one, and now we're gonna give you pathways funding as well. So a lot of it does work together. So yes, some of this would be for survivors, most definitely. Other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me go. I appreciate it.
Bring on.
Thank you so much for that. See you
Can
later.
you say again
So
the-
Kendra,
Is the wrong.
Kiana?
Kendra, Galen, and
Keon is good.
you got promoted already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. And is Carlos in the?
We have a Scott.
I haven't seen Carlos.
Okay, no worries. Then I think it's just gonna be me then.
Okay,
Perfect.
did you have a PowerPoint? I can't remember.
Yes, I did. I sent you the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's down there.
Okay, let me share.
By the way, thank you for being so patient.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, no, no worries. No worries. Thank you too for, I guess, letting me join online.
Okay, I'm gonna move this down
Perfect.
so you can.
Great. So hi, okay, I'm ready. Perfect. Thank you so much. So hi everybody. My name is Kindra Galan. I am the Director of Innovative Programs at Michantla, and today I'll be presenting on our project called Raíces Unidas, which focuses on youth prevention and family strengthening. And then you can go to the next one. Thank you. So Michantla is a Nahuatl word that means mi casa. Our mission is to prevent substance use and violence through free experimental learning for middle and high school students from low-income communities and people of color. Our vision is a future where communities thrive free from violence and drugs and where young people reach their full potential. So a little bit of the reason why Michantla exists, it's because Carlos, who is executive director as well as our founder, when he was studying and living in Guatemala, he had a friend who would always invite him over to his chantla. and say, come to my house, come to my house. So originally Carlos is from Honduras, so he was able to make those connections and make a home in Guatemala. And our hope is that everybody, specifically our immigrant community, is able to build their own home away from home. So you can go to the next one. Okay. And our primary goal is to strengthen students by developing their skills and protective factors. We use a comprehensive approach that offers hands-on learning in STEM, music, art, and recreation, integrated with public health program focused on violence prevention, substance use, and mental health. So this is a little bit of our focus areas, which is the family empowerment, our technical, innovative, and STEM programs, as well as our cultural arts. And we are located, our home base is in Olympia, but we do serve 6 counties, which includes Pierce, Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Pacific, and Grace Harbor. And our focus area and the services that we provide they change. So it's something that we might offer in Thurston County. It's not the same thing that we might offer in Pierce or in the other counties. We go based on what our community is needing and the uniqueness of our community as well. And then these are our programs that we offer. So we do offer STEM, sound engineering, and bioscience, arts, painting, poetry, and contemporary dance, ethnomusicology, drumming, instrumental composition, as well as health and safety, leadership, which we use White PAR, youth participation, participatory action research and photo voice, as well as the parenting classes that we offer, which is guiding good decisions and strengthening families. And then we offer recreation, organized sports, and physical activity. And the way that we do it is that our community strategy is working with the community. So we work in the community with the community and for the community. So we have a model that we call the champion ambassador model, where we have actual participants who have gone through the program, go participate in the programs, get the training if they want to build on their leadership skills, and also serve as workers in the organization. So a lot of the way that we reach community is not just by Carlos and myself and Nolvia, who's the director of the parenting programs. It's by utilizing our champion ambassador model. And these are people who are trusted in the community, have the same shared experiences of the community. And the way that we also see it is that our Latino community, if we're focusing on one type of community, it's so diverse within that even if someone who might live in Thurston County wants to show up in Mason County, might not have the same effect unless we get someone from the community. And that's how we are able to build trust and build more of this leadership skills, as well as develop protective factors. So our proposal for this grant, we are requesting 30,000 to serve 60 families in Lacey. This is a 12-week 2-generation intervention and prevention program that is specifically designed for low-income Latinx families in Lacey. Our primary goal is to prevent youth violence and substance use by focusing on the family unit. So instead of just focusing on the youth, we focus on the whole family, and we want to ensure that we are building them together. A lot of the times programs, specifically, talking more in the immigrant experience, we understand a lot of things are very individualistic, but with our programs, we really want to keep this family unit unified. So this is divided in 3 phases. The first phase is prevention education, where is the co-creation and tailoring by the ambassadors, as well as the families, to find and adapt the curriculum with the realities that are within the families. And then phase 2, we focus on our curriculum, which is strengthening families. And then our phase 3 is experiential healing, which we will be focusing on STEM-based health literacy, as well as traditional Aztec dancing through our local dance group that we have here in Lacey. And then we are removing barriers and creating a place of belonging. Our program is culturally and linguistic specific. So if there are folks who speak other indigenous language apart from Spanish and English, if they speak other languages apart from Spanish and English, we also are able to connect with folks who are able to speak Mam or Kankobal, which are other languages that are growing in the community. We are responsive by centering our curriculum around cultural identity. We're able to make sure that our families are seeing themselves within the community, and it makes it more of a connection. And then prioritizing the underserved. So the way that we have our cohort model is that after they finish the 12-week program, they will get a stipend or gift card and a certificate as well to say that they have finished, and they also get they get that gift card to ensure that they accomplish something, and they will also be getting food as they are coming to these meetings and programs. And then our short term, we have short term and long term, which is fundamental empowerment. We want to make sure that our families are shifting their reactive stress to proactive knowledge, that we're also removing financial barriers through participation stipends, and then all the way to long term, which is systematic change, disrupting the pipeline, reducing law enforcement interactions to break the school to prison pipeline, and then creating future leaders, so within the adults as well as the youth. And then these are just some data of how our programs have impacted in our communities. So 90% of retention, we prioritize relationships to ensure a long-term consistent participation. 75% of better attendance stability at home leads to better outcomes in the classroom, and 85% increase stability, strengthen the family unit, serve as the ultimate preventative measure. And thank you. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Kendra.
No problem.
Question, how many families do you anticipate being able to serve with this funding?
We are intended to serve 60 families.
So, okay, so I was thinking it said 60 STEM speaker sets, so I didn't know, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And how are they chosen?
They're from word of mouth. If people come to us, so the champion ambassador model, the champions help us create outreach and have those connections, and they're the ones who are identifying families who might be going through some issues, whether it's a child who's having a hard time at school, or there are family issues. Then they're coming to ensure that they're able to get the services.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions?
I have one question. Thank you so much for your presentation. If you were to receive partial funding, would the 12-week class still happen with fewer participants, or is this an all or nothing?
So the intent would be, which I probably didn't say, but the intent is to do it each quarter with 20 families. But it would just mean that we focus on 2 quarters, or decreasing it to one cohort or quarter. So we would be able to offer it. Especially the thing that we would love to keep is the Aztec dancing, the cultural connection. Just because that's something that is really needed in our community for us to connect within our family unit. So it would just decrease the number of people served.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. PCT?
And I brought the PDF, share the PDF.
Okay. Should be here. About this.
I knew I've been to your facility for a meeting before.
It's the South
saw
Sound
it.
Partners.
I saw it.
No, we used to have our staff meetings there sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it a PDF?
yeah, it's a PDF, but it's right here.
There's the one, yeah. It's, yeah.
I just need to be able to share the screen.
Let me look while you scan.
Why is it not showing up? I'm so sorry. Let's go out of here one second. Try this again.
It's another document.
Here it is. I had to go out and come back in.
Sure, I see.
Yeah. Okay. We should be good to go. So I'll just, I'll go scroll up and then, since it's not a slide, and you just tell me when to go forward.
All right.
Okay.
yeah. So my name is Martha Correa. I'm here representing Thurston Community Media. Thurston Community Media is in the community for 40 years. We've been, we are facilitating people to be part of the media world. And why is that important? Because when you see yourself represented in media, you feel included, you feel part of that community. So Thurston Community Media represents the diversity of the community through media. And these would be our values through the years. We facilitated civic engagement, artistic expression, digital literacy, and diversity. And so the project we have in mind, we since 2006 we've been working with kids and teaching them digital literacy, and the reason we're asking for this collaboration with the city of Lacey is to make these classes more inclusive and bring more kids in. We would like to work with the Lacey School District and other community services like YWCA and bring the kids, bring more kids in. And one of the things that we observe when we teach media is that not only there's a component that kids learn a skill, but there's another component to it where they learn life skills when they are able to collaborate, work together, pitch their ideas, respect each other, and see themselves represented. And so there's the cultural expression that goes in it. So it's really empowering to the kids for that. And recently we were working with a kid volunteer, a 17-year-old kid that he was suicidal, and I brought him in and I started volunteering, and he started doing videos for me there. And the first day he comes in, his hair is all over his face and he doesn't make eye contact. At the end of the second week was like full face, big smile. And it's just, there's this thing about making media that's very empowering. And we would love to make it more available to more kids, because media can be very expensive. You need you need a camera, you need a computer, you need the app. And if TC Media brings the kids in, it'll make more accessible to all. And the program we are envisioning is after school program where we wanted to have groups of 10 kids, and they would go in the studio and and learn all the steps of media production, and then produce it themselves, and be the ones deciding what they're gonna produce, and we're gonna just help them to accomplish their projects. And so then we've been working a lot with the Olympia School District and Lacey. We had contacted a few Lacey schools that would love to come to TC Media, and budget's always been a problem, so that would make us would be facilitate us to work with the Lacey kids as well. And so the budget, if we receive the grant, we gonna use the budget to staff hours and also for the costs of equipment maintenance, and we also be working with a volunteer to help. So if we don't receive the grant, we continue to do kids education, but in a much smaller scale. And yeah, and this year we're celebrating our 40th anniversary, and still around. We wanted to be able to celebrate 40 more years. Any questions?
Sure. So it sounds like the way to ensure that it serves specifically the Lacey youth is to partner with the school and send the students from the schools.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. Yeah, because come from the teachers, they would be the ones sending the kids to us.
So they'd be doing the referrals to you?
Yeah, referrals, and not only the schools, but YWCA or the Boys and Girls Club, or we would ask them and say, we have 10 scholarships to offer. Do you have students interest? That'll be the process, yeah.
And I see, you said it goes in stages, right? There's 3 phases, there's 3 phases.
Right.
Is it for the whole school year or, it's
No.
offered 8 times annually? I apologize, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so it'd be a 4-week program, and each week they learn a different thing. So we start with the technology and equipment, and then it goes to operation, and then the last part is the collaboration and producing a collaborative video.
Are the students able to return, like if they wanted to on like a scholarship or something else? Or do you want it to be a revolving door for other students to have the opportunity as well?
Yeah, the way we envision that would be 8 different groups, and we do have the membership that we can offer scholarship, so they could come back and lend the equipment and be able to continue producing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Crisis Clinic?
Welcome, thank you for waiting.
Well, thank you all. It's getting late.
Yeah, we're getting to the end.
And I'm finally getting the hang of the PDF.
Right at the end.
Well, good evening. I'm Holly Wetzel. I am the Executive Director of the Crisis Clinic of Thurston and Mason Counties. And again, just want to thank you all for having me here tonight and for the work that you do to support the city of Lacey. On the second slide, I just want to take a moment to have us all think back to a moment when you or someone you love really needed support or were in a moment of crisis. In that moment of crisis, when emotions are running high, it can be challenging to know where to turn to for support. Since 1972, the Crisis Clinic has been here to answer that call to provide emotional and crisis support to our community. Moving forward to slide 3, the Crisis Clinic exists to empower our community to survive and thrive beyond crisis, with the goal of fostering a resilient community where no one faces crisis alone. We do this through our 2 crisis lines, our adult crisis line and our youth crisis line. Moving on to slide 4. The state of behavioral health in our community is quite grim, as reflected by local needs assessments by local hospitals. 1 in 3 Thurston County adults have a depressive disorder, a rate higher than the state average. 36% of those adults report feeling socially isolated from others. And in our youth, 1 in 6 students have seriously contemplated suicide in the past year, a rate even higher among students who identify as being part of the LGBTQIA+ community. And moving forward onto the next slide, we can see that those same assessments tell us that help exists and is available in the community, but it's incredibly difficult to reach. Between long wait lists,
high costs, and especially now with the high costs with the changes made to Medicaid, and distance for our neighbors without reliable transportation, getting the help necessary to prevent a mental health struggle from boiling up into a crisis is a significant challenge for many. And for many communities, there is also a degree of distrust of traditional systems of care. It is for that reason that these needs assessments call for more support for community-based behavioral health services. Moving forward to the next slide, you can see how the crisis clinic meets that need, along with two of the City of Lacey's priority areas, with our 24/7 anonymous crisis line and our teen and youth helpline, along with local resource navigation that takes place on both lines. When someone calls, a trained volunteer provides crisis intervention in a non-judgmental space to be heard anonymously. For callers that need more than emotional support, we draw on our extensive list of local resources to provide tailored referrals to other community supports where there's crisis is originating from. And because the crisis clinic is anonymous, we reach a portion of the population that otherwise wouldn't seek out support due to prior negative experiences with our healthcare system. With our services, our downstream impact is the deflection of crisis patients away from overburdened systems of care. The emergency room is not the place for our neighbors where they should have to go for an emotional crisis, nor is it the best place to receive behavioral health care. The crisis clinic serves as our community's front door for support, where our volunteers can provide emotional and crisis support in the moment and be able to connect those individuals to resources in the community that can support them long after the call. Moving forward to the next slide, you can see some statistics related to our call numbers from last year. In 2025, we answered over 11,000 calls, 7% of which involved active suicide de-escalation. What we've begun to see over time is that crises are now no longer just depression and anxiety. It's anxiety because you can't afford food. It's depression rooted in loneliness. Crises have become more complex. In 2025, 2 out of 3 callers were navigating more than just one need, which is why our resource navigation and referral is so critical to our process. And moving forward to the next slide, you can see some quotes for some grateful callers on screen that you can read. But I would like to tell you about one Lacey resident in particular who had called us after learning about our services at Lacey Holiday Lights this past December. This young mother picked up one of our crisis magnets from the event. And she told us how it sat on her fridge for a month, where she saw it every night when she made dinner for her 3 kids. And after the holidays, she hit her breaking point. She found herself standing at the edge of a decision that would have taken her from her children. In her kitchen, before acting, she saw the magnet that was on her fridge. And she made the call, knowing that she could anonymously share how she was feeling, feelings that had been boiling up inside her for a long time. One of our trained volunteers answered and was able to provide support for her in that moment, de-escalated her crisis, helped her make a plan to feel safe for the night, and was able to connect her to resources in the community that would support her and her family after the call. No one can control when crisis hits, but we can make sure that every Lacey resident already has anonymous crisis support within reach for when it does. Tonight, someone will call the crisis clinic, and it will be a member of the community who will reach out and be able to answer that call. Thank you all for all that you do to support the community, and I'm open to answer any questions that you may have.
I have a question. It says in your application that so this funding will go towards us because you guys don't specifically have a location in Lacey, that you guys plan on using this funding to go do outreach within the city of Lacey. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that outreach is going to look like?
Absolutely. So that outreach looks like attending City of Lacey events that are put on by not just the City of Lacey, but are, in the City of Lacey itself, to make sure that we're visible anywhere. Our goal is to really destigmatize mental health, where if we're visible in every place, folks recognize us and they feel comfortable calling.
Are you partnering with the North Thurston School District?
That's an area we're looking to partner more, especially with our youth helpline. We saw a significant increase in calls compared to the previous year, and that's something that we're looking to build further capacity with so we can be able to meet the need, because the need is definitely great.
Oh yeah, for sure, especially since COVID.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question. You mentioned trained volunteers. What is a trained volunteer?
Absolutely. So our volunteers go through over 60 hours of training where they're trained in crisis intervention, suicide de-escalation, cultural humility, intimate partner violence, youth mental health crisis, grief and mental illness, substance use, there, as well as a dedicated training to the local resources that are available in the community. When you are a volunteer at the crisis clinic, you are trained with all the skills to be able to support someone who's in crisis.
Any other questions?
Thank
you so much.
We appreciate it. Woo, together, yay.
Made it. We made it.
We made it,
We made
yeah.
it.
Thank you so much for allowing us to present tonight with our scheduling snafu yesterday. And thank you for those that are staying and listening to all the presentations. My name is Vanessa Hurst. I'm the Executive Director of Together, and I'm actually the former Host Homes Program Director. So it is a program I know very well and I'm very happy to talk about. So moving on to our next slide, I would actually like to begin with a story and then work backwards on how this type of work is possible and this type of outcome. So here we would like you to meet Rebecca, who was a student that graduated from a North Thurston Public School, North Thurston High School last year. She was referred to the Host Homes program from the CYS shelter, Rosie Place. She was I believe just had turned 18, but she was about to start her senior year of high school. She was referred because in the shelter, she was assaulted by her boyfriend. And although he was kicked out of the shelter, she was extremely afraid, she needed stable housing. We were able to match her with a family. It did take some time, and this is a volunteer family in the community who agrees to house a student, not under state supervision, not receiving kind of the support that you get under state supervision. It's support from our program. Throughout that next year, she was able to graduate with honors. She received 3 scholarships, and she just wrapped up her first year at the Evergreen State College, and we offered extended care. Some of the things that are important to know, why was she unaccompanied? This is a question that gets asked often. So when students enter, so for her specific situation, her mom self-deported that summer. She had an uncle that she was able to live with, but he didn't have the means or capacity to continue supporting her, which is why she entered shelter. The boyfriend, who was her partner, type of her one support person, assaulted her, and that was also kind of something she went through. When she entered our program and we connected her with the host family and a case manager, the term case manager is pretty clinical, and that is not how we do things at Together. This is a wraparound mentorship model. I'll explain a bit more. And actually, one more thing about the picture, that photo was taken by the case manager, who was the only person she invited to her award ceremonies for the scholarships that she received. So. The mission and model is Host Homes is a nationally recognized model, and we want to provide stable housing and support for unaccompanied youth, empowering them to achieve their full potential. And that means graduating high school and engaging in meaningful post-secondary education, job training, workforce development, military, either whether it's the officer candidate course, which we've had some students do, or enlistment. And we have those 5 pillars, which are social service, navigation, and access, like many of the other programs here. Academic support, we are partnered with the 3 biggest school districts in the county. So that's North Thurston Public Schools, Olympia School District, and Tumwater School District. Financial literacy and stability is a big one. We partner with the Department of Finance with the state, who offers classes and trainings for students who do receive a stipend for being in the program. Support systems and mentorship, like I said, the host families and our case managers work very closely together to provide stable adult relationships in the youth's life. And a big one is healthcare navigation. Many of our students have not seen a doctor or a dentist when they come to the program for years. And we've had a few students who had never even been to a dentist by the time they came into the program. Moving on to the next slide. Some key features. Why does our program work? What does it mean? So like I said, an unaccompanied youth is someone who, after the age of 18, was separated from their primary caregivers or parents and was not entered into state supervision. Why weren't they entered into state supervision? Once you become a teenager, if you are not, you talked about overburdened systems. If you are not imminent danger of death or being maimed, and we don't have foster families for you, it is very hard to get into state supervision. There's just not enough families, and again, unless you're in crisis, they don't have the capacity. So they're unaccompanied, they're living with a family friend, they're couch surfing, they're in shelter, and that's how they come to know our program often. Our model is youth-centered, so it is voluntary. They do not have to be in the program and it's not court mandated. We come to them. Oftentimes the courtship of us engaging them in a program is 3 to 4 months of case managers meeting with them at the schools, at the homes, at the shelters, and other places. So they're generally already living with the person or family that would be their host family. And this is typically a parent's friend or a friend of a parent, excuse me, a parent of a friend, or a school staff member that is housing them. We work with the schools and then we focus on long-term outcomes and life skills and mentorship building. How do we impact the city of Lacey? Well, the majority of our students are North Thurston Public Schools students. 44% this past school year, 100% of our graduates are served by host homes, including those of Lacey. They transition into stable housing, college, like I said, military or other stable living arrangements, sometimes family reunification, oftentimes living on their own. And I'll go through the majority of our youth are with kinship hosts, so that's somebody they knew beforehand. And then school staff, a rise of, oh, and another big one is we have seen over the last 2 years a 200% rise in Spanish speaking students with immigrant status youth or family situations that were impacted by recent changes to federal law. And we have a ton of success. That's why I led with the story, but there's other metrics here in this presentation that you're welcome to look through as well as in the application. And we need this funding to continue serving Lacey students without interruption. We don't want to have to reduce staffing. We have a pretty low case manager to youth ratio. It's generally 10 to 14 youth, and that allows the case managers to spend a significant amount of time navigating not just the youth, but the host family as well to provide them the supports that they need. And yeah, I think that was the next slide that I was saying. And then or you can skip that one. Yeah, so we need this to maintain our relationships, maintain our service to Lacey North Thurston Public Schools. Actually, North Thurston Education Foundation was one of our very first funders when our program started 5 years ago. And our relationships are incredibly important and we very much appreciate the city of Lacey and would be honored to be a continued partner. So, open to questions. Thanks for the extra time.
Oh, no, no worries. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions?
I'm familiar with host homes, but I did see on your budget worksheet at the bottom that you guys pay for the room to the host families?
So we provide them a reimbursement,
Okay.
and so it has varied throughout the years depending on funding. It has been 0 at times. Currently it is at $150. The highest it's ever been, I believe, is $250. And that is just to alleviate some of the cost. However, and that's not, we also have a separate fund in direct. So if they need emergency rental assistance, car repair, that's a separate fund that they can apply to, and we keep that pretty well stocked so that we can help with those emergency situations. So the host isn't, at risk of being homeless or jobless.
So then just to clarify, the costs of the child, young adult being in the home would be the host family would bear the cost of that?
Yes, so that's why it's a volunteer program and we are depending heavily on the host. And this is actually a very difficult model to implement nationally. And what we found is that when it first started and we kind of adopted the methods of other programs that hadn't been successful long-term, is really putting the whole burden on the host. So really like, not only are you taking the financial, but you better do the resource navigation and we'll just kind of check in. That wasn't working for anybody. So when we shifted and hired full-time case managers, reduced their caseload, and we're like, hey, hosts, you're housing them and you're supporting them, but we will do all the heavy lifting when it comes to driving them, resource navigation, the doctor's appointments, all of that, talking to the schools, going to the IEP meetings. We will do that. If the host has the capacity, yes. And oftentimes, not often, I would say maybe 25% of the time, the parent is still involved. They just don't have the means to support the student full time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you
coming in.
so much for the extra time.
Yeah, no, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thanks to all of you for sticking it out.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a long day for them.
All right, before we go though, guys,
Yeah, no.
Michelle is gonna give us one final
I see it.
director's report. on the timeline for both the Human Services Group, and the CDBG.
Okay, so really quickly, I just want to recap where we're at. So I would love to have your scores as soon as you get them done. You don't have to wait until
We
June
get it till
first.
to you tomorrow?
As soon as you have them, that I will take them. That helps me to compile all the numbers and everything, and then I can start doing the different number crunching. So, but definitely want them by 4 p.m. on June 21st. And I had mentioned in the email that I'm gonna send you a quick reference guide. I don't know if you remember last year, but it's a spreadsheet. It has everybody, how much they applied for, what the percent of admin is, if they got funded last year, all that stuff. So we compare and contrast, like who got funded, who didn't, all that stuff. So I'll hopefully have that early next week to you guys. And then, the rubric, were you able to get the rubric working?
Oh, yeah, it was no problem.
Okay, good.
I just was behind the firewall.
Oh, that's right, okay. So there is a fillable PDF, you can do that, or you can do paper copies, whatever you want. Some people drop off paper copies, that's just more comfortable for them. Some people can do, you know, the PDF. Again, I'm gonna encourage the commissioners who aren't here to go back and re-watch the videos and make sure that they are watching the videos when they're doing their scoring. Any more questions about that? About the grant program? Okay, and then the CDBG, again, I'm gonna be bringing that to city council. I can't remember the date right offhand, but my report is due. When is do you remember when my CDBG is? Anyways, that's coming, and so there'll be a work session where I'll bring the action plan to them and they'll see exactly what you guys saw tonight. And then hopefully they'll let me bring it to them on consent. And then it will go to HUD. It'll include the minutes from all of our meetings. Any comments you guys had, any comments the council has?
Great.
That's it. That's that's all I
What
have.
do you do in your spare time?
Lots of fun things. Actually, I'm missing a guitar lesson.
Oh, man. Hopefully we're getting good.
But we can conclude the meeting.
All right. Well, with that, we'll adjourn this meeting at 8:09.
Thank
you.
Go get a
Good night,
birthday cake for
everybody.
Carmen.
Yes.
Wait. I want, no.
Oh, Carmen?
No, I want you to leave the webinar.
Leave the